Welcome to Raw. We can't say Raw recap because then we'll get copyrighted and sued, and they'll take all of our belongings.
I just had one problem with that.
Raw, whatever the fuck this is. Our ranting and raving. We'll go with that. Anyway, what's your problem? I know you got a lot of problems up here, but that's besides the point.
I knew you had a lot of problems, but they were all
Anyway. So yesterday, Raw was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes. Thank you. Past me. Anyway, Chad Gable's hometown.
You want to click to watch?
Oh, yeah. We're professionals, everybody.
Anyway, yeah. Chad Gable's hometown, but yet Chad Gable
was
didn't
sick.
wrestle?
Yeah, he was sick. He had a doctor's note, remember?
He didn't wrestle? Quotation marks?
No. He had a doctor's note and everything.
But anyway, okay. So we were in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Adam starts off.
Adam was doing his job.
I am impressed. He's been doing his job the last couple weeks. He's been doing really good. Nick has not dropped the bar, but Pierce has come up to they're kind of at a mid-level. Nick isn't out there every single minute, and Pierce is showing up more than what he did.
Yeah.
So they're kind of both at this middle.
They're balancing each other out rather than Nick is always there and Adam is never there. So I'm glad we're getting to see more of Adam Pierce.
And like I said, I truly think Nick is just all around a better GM, but that's my opinion. But Adam started the show, and he's like, I was wrong. I was wrong to put you in a position where last week to make you a ref because I was wrong to assume that the three of you could handle this like professionals.
Yeah.
I was wrong, but there's only one way I figured that I could right this wrong. Therefore, at Mania, Io will defend the Women's World Championship against Bianca and Rhea in a triple threat match. Who saw that coming?
Stevie Wonder. He says, I don't plan on wasting any time at all. All I need is 3 signatures on the contract, so let's get this over with. And you know what? I gotta agree with Bianca on this one. She says, you know what? Actually, I'm happy you're being added to the match. Because you really think I'm scared of you. Baby, I went through Elimination Chamber. I watched 2 of my closest friends try to tear each other apart, and I still won. So if I was uncomfortable with that, you don't think I can overcome a triple threat? I'm going to walk out of Mania as your Women's World Champion, and I'm going to go through you to get it.
Again, before we go down this road, think of what she said. And this is the part that going back and watching this again, if you look at Io's face, you can just see the pure anger building. Because they never mention her.
No, it's just, and once again, and I was more referring to how Rhea just, because I was talking about, I 100% agree with Bianca. She won Elimination Chamber to get this match. And now Rhea's just going to walk in and get another title shot. I think it's complete bullshit.
But again, the point I'm getting at has nothing to do with Rhea. It has nothing to do with Bianca.
Oh, I 100% agree.
It is that they continuously
just completely overlook Io like she's not even in the match.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They don't mention her.
Nope.
Bianca basically just said, I'm going to walk through you to get it.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Io?
Exactly. Because Rhea comes back and she's like, Bianca, you really think I'm scared of you? And then Bianca pops back like, shut up and sign a damn contract. This is what you wanted, isn't it? You've whined enough to get me. You've whined enough to get here. Now you got it. You want the damn match or not? Rhea signs the contract and throws it to Bianca. Io starts to say something and Rhea pushes her. Bianca and Rhea are in each other's faces. Io steps up on the...
Well, she starts to walk out of the ring, and Anne's like, stop, sign the contract. Just sign the contract. And she's like, climbs up on the top rope and launches herself into this.
Kicks Rhea in the back into Bianca. They both roll out of the ring. She signs the contract, holds up the title, and walks off.
But like I said, neither one of them acknowledged her for the past how many weeks?
It's been like a month now, at least. I think 3 weeks to a month at this point.
That they have not even acknowledged her as champion. I mean, WWE does, but those two are like, who the fuck is Io?
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna walk through you to get the title. They were still up in each other's grill as she was walking out of the ring with the title. They didn't give a damn, and it's pathetic. And I cannot wait to see the look on both of their faces when Io Sky beats the ever-living hell out of them at WrestleMania.
But then we get the notification that we are going to have the 4-way at Mania, which again, everybody was talking about it for at least a week or two before.
Yeah, we have Penta versus Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio.
Yep.
And it's going to be beautiful.
And then you have Judgment Day backstage, and Finn's all like, I didn't know you wanted the title, Dom. But you know what? I guess the more, the merrier.
Yep, Liv says, that's what I said when I got Adam to agree to put Dom in the match. What's better than one member of Judgment Day fighting for the title? Now we have double the chance to bringing back the title to the clubhouse. Because it doesn't matter who wins the title, as long as it's one of us. Right, Finn?
And he's like, of course, of course. And you can just see the look, like, no.
It's my title.
Yeah. You can just see the look in his face, like, yeah, of course.
No, not at all. And then he gets up in Dom's face and like, of course. We've all heard what people are saying about Dom. That he doesn't have what it takes to win at Mania. You're not tough enough. You don't have a killer instinct. That you're a loser. But tonight you can prove them all wrong when you go against Penta and beat him all by yourself. Because I believe in you. You got this. And then he walks off, and Dom asks...
He looks at Liv, and he's like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And Carlito, being Carlito, is like...
Says, don't worry, I got your back. Mall of America. Biggest mall in the U.S. I went there today.
Just completely like...
I don't get it. But yeah, like I said, I cannot wait to see the Judgment Day implode at WrestleMania. It's gonna be
I do want to see Breaker win. I do.
Oh yeah.
But in some weird, twisted little way,
I want to see Dom win.
I want to see Dom win. And Carlito, Liv,
Raquel, they're all happy for him, and Finn comes in there and fucking kicks him in the jaw.
Or something. Where maybe they cost Finn the match somehow.
And Dom gets the upper hand.
And Dom wins it.
Man, I'd love to see it.
Like they throw a chair in, Breaker ducks the chair. They smack Finn with it. Finn's out for like the last 3 or 4 minutes of the match. They help Dom cheat to win, which is fine. I don't like the idea, but if it helps,
I'd rather Dom win it than Finn wins it. I would rather Breaker or Penta win it, but if we're choosing between the lesser of two evils here.
Exactly.
And then we finally, after like 15 minutes, get our first match of Lyra versus Bayley, and this was a hell of a match.
It was.
It was a very wonderful match.
Really good back and forth. They
were giving it their, and we even said it. The matches we got last night were
awesome,
better than the matches we've had the last few weeks. So I'm really hoping that going into Mania, the matches are going to be...
You built your hope back up a little bit?
Yes,
exactly.
Because I'm really just hoping that it was those 2 weeks, those 2 extra weeks that we had to stretch it. That they're like, throw shit at the wall, and none of it stuck. But this stuck. So I'm hoping that's how we're going to keep this things going.
But yeah, it was a really good back and forth match. Lyra winds up winning. But I think the best part was Bayley. She kind of started to walk out the ring, and you could see she was like torn. Like, do I step out and be...
Yeah, and like Lyra extends her hand. Bayley slaps it away, goes to leave the ring, and she's like... And then she steps back in the ring and hugs Lyra, because they have a...
tag match.
Next week for the Gauntlet...
Well, it's actually on SmackDown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, whenever it is. They have a match...
Friday night.
On for the Gauntlet match for the women's...
Which we'll get to later. I've got the rundown of everybody.
And, you know, I just thought about that. We don't really have that many... We have, what, 2 or 3 women's tag teams? I mean, we have Liv and Raquel.
Well, they got, what, 5?
But they're not actual... Like, Bayley and Lyra are not a tag team.
Yeah.
Like, they're just... throwing tag teams together for the sake of this Gauntlet match. So
there's a lot of people who want to see them win it.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they wouldn't be a good tag team, but I'm saying like actual tag teams.
But you want to know who I think is going to win it? And I'm just throwing shit out there for real.
Who?
It'll be the first match together. Is Maxine Dupree and Natalya.
I could see that.
I could too.
Because we'll get to it later, but they're kind of already like, this is our first match here. You're throwing us in a gauntlet match. We don't even know like the chemistry of each other.
Nope.
And how it's gonna work.
Go that.
And
what better way to learn?
Pierce is like, time to go. Let's do it. So I mean, it is. But like I said, we'll get to that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get a backstage segment, and this was so funny. I loved this with Bert Kesher. Something like that, I think is how he pronounced. I could be mispronouncing it 100%. But he talked about his new Netflix special called Lucky, which I've seen him on other stuff, but I've never watched his like stand-up, so I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, Kathy
American Maid shows up, and Gable's like, I know I'm your favorite comedian. I know you're a fan of you're my favorite comedian. I know you're a fan of mine too. The only reason you came to Minnesota was to see the only shining star that came out of this city. But I'm not competing tonight. So you get to watch my boys, the greatest luchador of all time, El Grande Americano,
take on the LWO.
And
Bert's like, I didn't come here to see you, buddy. And then Otis walks up, and he's like, hey, man, what's up? And they go, Rrr! And then Chad Gable walks away. He's like, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
And then Bert's like, you know the whole ripping the shirt thing is my thing, right? And Otis says, babe, it's our thing now.
And they do this whole like fist bump and then hug, and
it's beautiful.
It was epic.
It was pretty cool.
Once again, I want to see Otis do something. What do they call themselves now? I forget. Do they have a name?
Like the Alpha Academy?
Oh yeah, the Alpha Academy. I want to see them do something.
And then we have AJ backstage with Jackie, and she's like, Logan Paul came out last week, and he had the audacity to say a lot and do a lot of things. With less than 2 weeks from Mania, where's your head at? And AJ's like, I'm in a good place. I get to embarrass Logan Paul on the grandest stage of them all because you can't beat experience. And then Cross shows up.
And he says, experience? How did that work out for you last week? Who got embarrassed? Explain the situation to me, please.
And AJ's like, what do you want from me? What do you want?
He says, we need an AJ Styles who's going to get the job done. AJ says, what are you talking about? What other AJ Styles are you talking about? You want the other AJ Styles? Okay. I'll go talk to Adam, and next week on Monday Night Raw, I'll give you a taste. Cross smiles as AJ walks away.
And see, I love this. Because Cross, and any of you who don't know this, I've kind of said it before, Cross is a social media god.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like, he is constantly posting little clips of backstage, him and Scarlett. He is always posting something, liking, sharing, following, like fans and everything.
Yep.
He is very, very big, and if WWE loses him, because supposedly his contract is up sometime within the next couple months.
Yeah,
if WWE loses him, you're going to lose a big chunk of your social media.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Either you keep him on, I mean, you've got, what's his name, Titus O'Neil as the ambassador of WWE, never on TV. Make him the social media ambassador. I don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Cross is, on social media, Cross is always on there. He's always making little comments. He's having fun. He's enjoying what he's doing.
Honestly, if you, even if he doesn't step foot in the ring, just keep him as what he is now, the little puppeteer.
The voice in the back of everybody's brain, yeah.
I want to see this evil AJ Styles that he's talking about.
What other AJ? It was just funny because AJ was like legit confused. He's like,
"What are you talking about?
What other AJ?" Because like, I want the other AJ. I want the real AJ.
I want the AJ that's gonna get the job done. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Exactly.
AJ legit confused, and it was beautiful. But then we get to the American-made and LWO match, and it was a good match. It was back and forth.
Yeah, lots of it, like
and even the crowd again. This is the second time, second match, second time the crowd is chanting, "This is awesome."
Yeah, like the LWO is in there doing like
backflips,
like triple tag. Like, it was basically a tornado tag team match for like half of the damn thing. Like they were in there.
They were doing spinning kicks and
and then there was the one time they were doing the like 3-way lane express, hitting them all in the corners, and then they all go up to do their like somersaults or whatever, and then all the members of American Made jump up and do like 3 superplexes at the same time. It was beautiful.
It was really, really good.
Until it wasn't.
Because then you had, go ahead,
Ivy Styles hands El Grande
Ivy Niles.
Ivy.
You said Ivy Styles. It sounded like Ivy.
Ivy. I thought I said that. Anyway, Ivy Niles hands El Grande Americano a piece of metal. He hides it in his mask. Ray sees him, tries to stop him, and gets headbutted by Dragon Lee.
Oh, no, gets headbutted. Dragon Lee jumps up on the rope. He gets headbutted. And then he does a flying headbutt off the top rope.
And
American
they win the
Made
match.
wins.
Yeah.
So again,
which look, I know it's all storyline, but wouldn't that hurt him just as much? Oh yes, let me put this piece of metal on my forehead so that when I headbutt somebody, it hurts them. But guess what? You're also getting hit with that piece of metal.
I guess if it's close. I don't know. If it's close to your skin, does it not?
That's just like brass knuckles. Everybody thinks, like people always talk about how brass knuckles also just fuck up your hand. I don't know. Anyway, they win the match.
And then we get... I didn't count them all this time. I think there was one up top before.
There was like 3 or 4 recaps of...
But we get the Gunther recap, and then we see Gunther walking backstage, cuts to commercial.
With the Mr. Bean impression?
Yeah, we can totally do that. Gunther walking down in the...
I'm making sure I'm doing this the right way. Okay. I was making sure that I pressed the right button. But yeah, his Mr. Bean impression.
He channeling his inner Mr. Bean.
Once again, I don't think that's what it was, but it's just funny seeing the comparison.
I doubt that's what it was too, but it was being said on social media, and I laughed at it. So I thought that'd be really, really funny just to throw up there.
Yeah. But
Gunther comes to the ring. He doesn't say anything. He has the mic in his hand. Jay's music hits.
Mm-hmm.
He comes down to the ring, and he slaps the mic out of Gunther's hand. He's talking about how he had to, like, talk to his mom and tell her,
Yeah, he's like,
the whole situation of what happened, why he let his brother get beat up like that, and everything. She's like, you're supposed to watch out for him, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he's like, I stood there, I watched you wipe my brother's blood all over your body. You have a mother, Gunther? What do you talk to her about? Family stuff, how the kids are doing. Well, guess what I had to talk to my mother about? I had to talk to her about how I wasn't able to defend my brother, how I wasn't able to look out for him. And you know, I had to admit to her that I was scared of you. But last week, in the middle of this ring,
there was a lot more to it, but he goes, hold on, let me find out where you're kind of at. I never felt so hopeless, so disrespected, pissed off and angry, sick. You made the whole damn world stop, violated my twin in front of me, made my heart stop. You know what's crazy about this? In my darkest moment, my darkest time, right here in front of the whole world, a light bulb went off. That ain't something you. And then I realized something. You know what I realized? I'm not afraid of you anymore. Before Mania, I want you to hug your family, hug your wife, hug your kids, kiss your family. Kiss your family. Because before Mania, that night before, I'm gonna lay my head down, and I'm gonna say a prayer. I'm gonna pray about you. I'm gonna pray about you, but more so for me, and ask the Lord to forgive me for the man who I'm about to become. Because at Mania,
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you for me. I'm gonna get you for my brother. I'm gonna get you for my whole damn family, and I will take that world championship.
I mean and the whole thing, and we talked about this last night.
The look in Gunther's eye.
He knew at that moment that I think and what did you say? He lit a fire.
And he can't put it out. It's gonna burn his ass to ashes.
Yep.
He did something he might not have wanted to do. He might thought he wanted to do it, and he might have set out to do it. But now that he's done it,
He's
I think
realized,
he's like,
oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
oh crap, I should have just kept the J I had, because now the J that I'm getting is going to chew me up and spit me out.
Exactly.
Yep. Because I don't see Jay coming in there, and Jay is a great wrestler, do not get me wrong. But I don't see Jay playing the good wrestler.
Oh no. He's going to go in there and he's going to beat Gunther's ass.
Because what did you say the last time? This close.
Yeah, like we everybody was saying, like at that Saturday night main event, he was this close to beating Gunther 3 or 4 times.
Now Gunther has pushed him that one step further. Is that enough?
100%. It's not. It's going to be close, but it's not going to be close.
Because I totally see Jay setting out for blood.
Oh, 110%.
And I do not mean that figuratively.
No. If there's not blood in that match, I will be surprised.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. I can 100% see. Because I believe at Saturday Night main event, he hit him with the spear, he hit him with the Uso splash, and it wasn't enough. And then Gunther turned around like the powerbomb or something, and he won the match. I 1,000% see him hitting with that powerbomb, and he kicks out. And he's like, okay, fuck it. He picks him up, he powerbombs him 1, 2, maybe even 3 times, and he still kicks out. And Gunther is flabbergasted. And Jay comes back, spears him, kicks him in the face, whatever he has to do, and just bloodies and beats him to a pulp. And you know what would be beautiful? You know Gunther's done it 1,000 times up to this point. He gets them into the pin, 1, 2, and then he pulls them back up. I want to see Jay do that.
And as he's picking him up, be that moment that he just like, boom, 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 boom.
I want to see that.
And then you just see.
Yeah.
And then I know it might not happen. Maybe he's not that violent. But Jay just take the blood and be like.
I want to see it. I don't think we're gonna get that, but I want to see it.
He needs to be bloody.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I don't even care if there's blood. I want to see the sweet irony of him hitting Gunther with that spear. And as he's going for the pin, 1, 2, and he pulls him back up. It's like, I'm not done with you yet. And then, I don't know. You get the point.
Yeah, the whole Gunther thing.
It's going to be beautiful. Are we going to get that? Probably not. But I want to see it. I want to see it so badly. But we have the Roman Reigns recap of what happened last week with him, Punk, and Rollins. Because in case you didn't watch SmackDown... But then we have Adam backstage with Maxine and Natalya. Natalya says she doesn't know about their first match being a gauntlet match. Adam Pearce says, it's WrestleMania season. Let's go all in. Natalya agrees and walks away. And then Rey Fenix, I assume?
No, Mysterio, remember?
Oh. There's too many names. I'm bad with them.
Okay.
Rey walks in the office.
Rey walks in, and he's like, you tell me when you want a match against Gable, I'll give it to you. And Ray's like, I don't want a match against Gable. I want a match against that idiot who is disrespecting my family and everything I stand for, making a mockery of everything I've worked hard for. I want El Grande Americano, and I'll expose him for the fraud that he is. Let me pick the place I get to fight him. And Pierce is like, it's your call. And he's like, fine. I want him at WrestleMania. And Pierce is like, that's official.
Yep. So that's, like you said, we have like 12 matches scheduled for WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it was looking real bad for a real long time there. But
we had a total of like 6 matches, and we've already added like another 6 matches. We've literally doubled the card in a week.
I'm excited for WrestleMania again. Though, like I said, those 2 weeks, I wasn't. It was looking like shit, but they got the ball rolling again, because it went. And now it's finally starting to pick up steam again. 2 weeks out, but...
Yeah, so we're up to, what, 11 days, I think, today?
It's next Saturday. So.
Yeah, not this coming up Saturday, but the following one, so...
Yep. It's gonna be interesting,
and then,
for sure.
Again, this was a good match.
Until
we had the Boo Day, which is what we're calling them. They're calling themselves the New Day.
Which is a dumbass name.
But... from this moment forward and forever until anything changes, they are the Boo Day to the 3 of us.
No.
Exactly.
But, again,
it was
like
a great match.
It was a good match
but
until it wasn't.
Not even get into how the match ended. The New Day had zero business going against the Warriors. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Like, they are not... At least this New Day. Maybe New Day back in their prime might mop the floor with these guys. But the New Day we have right now, the Boo Day, they were getting their asses handed to them on a silver platter.
But it still was a good match.
It was a great match. But I mean, they were getting walloped. But of course, we can't have our cake and eat it too. Because Woods brings in a steel chair, starts fighting with Ivar for the chair. The ref sees it. Woods lets go, and Ivar hits him with the chair. The ref calls a DQ. So the War Raiders get disqualified because Boo Day cheats. And then Boo Day attacks the War Raiders after the match. They hit Ivar with a steel chair, aiming for both of their injured necks. And they were about to try and end Ivar's career, or Eric's career. Because they had him in the ring. They were setting him up.
With the chair wrapped around his neck.
Yeah, and I think it was Kofi that was going up on the top rope and was going to try to end his career. Thankfully, security got involved. Which, random thought, but this security is fucking terrible.
Well, I didn't clip it. I didn't get the clip of it, but one of them actually trips and falls coming down to the ring.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about this.
I know.
Like, they just decide randomly to show up. Like, once again, going back a few months, Kevin Owens is about to fucking pile drive Sami Zayn on the concrete, end his career, possibly his life. They don't give a damn. Randy Orton comes out, beats him up, and is about to punt his head off. They're like, no, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Moving on, like we said, we have Ray versus Americano at Mania.
Hold on. Kofi posted after.
Oh, right. Where is this? We have a bunch of... there it is. But yeah, he says, outrageous. The War Raiders got themselves DQ'd on purpose. They robbed us and robbed you from witnessing history. Cowards. Really? Really, Kofi? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, they robbed us and they didn't rob me.
They didn't rob anybody. In fact, you robbed yourself. It's the stereotypical of congratulations, you played yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's called wrestling.
Yep. And then we have another Cody versus John Cena recap. Which was
Yay! Guess what? Again, and I said this, and I'm going to say this. They did a 3-week mashup of like everything that was said, and I got everything.
In like 5 minutes. But they had to stretch it out over 3 weeks into like an hour and a half total.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
And we got a 5-minute clip of it, and I knew exactly what was going on.
Exactly. Please. WWE, we're begging you. Stop giving us these terrible, god-awful 30-minute promos. Unless you actually have 30 minutes of stuff for them to say that matters, which you don't. You just don't. We don't need them 30 minutes of them yapping about nothing. Though I will give them credit. It still wasn't as bad as The Rock's bullshit.
Exactly.
'Cause, I mean, he literally yapped for 30 minutes about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, actually nothing, Burger.
Well, John Cena did that first week, too.
He at least had a tiny bit of substance. And not much. Not worth the 30 minutes of bullshit.
Oh,
but
so you're telling me you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. All of you are pieces of shit. You all don't deserve anything I've ever done.
It's still better than whatever the fuck The Rock was saying. What was The Rock saying during those promos?
I don't remember.
Exactly. That's all that needs to be said. Look, all I'm saying is, John Cena's nothing burger might have been this thin, but at least when you bite into it, there's a little bit of something there. When you go to bite into The Rock's nothing burger, it's like, where the fuck did my food go? Anyway, moving on.
Then we had the Penta versus Dom match, which again was a really, really good match.
Yeah, honestly.
Dom was showing.
Yeah, he was. And once again, I cannot wait for this.
And I'm not a fan of Dominic, by no means. Don't take it that way. But, again, I'm going to say this. This is his core. This is what he's supposed to be.
Yeah, Lucha Libre. Like, his father is Rey Mysterio. Who could have guessed? So, yeah.
This is what he's supposed to be. And putting him in a match against Penta, who, again, I'm going to tell you, Penta, Mysterio, Dom, Dragon Lee, all of them are like...
Yeah.
So Dom's got a heritage. He's got people like Penta who are in there like, bro, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I can make you look good.
And
but
they did.
Instead, they get Dom in these matches.
Against Braun Breaker.
Yeah, and he looks like crap.
Yeah, because
Dom is good. Okay, don't get me wrong. He is good. But when you put him in a match like this,
that lets him show off what he's good at.
Yeah.
And I think I think they did this on purpose. And like I said, because I know we've been talking for a while about, Rey Mysterio wanting to retire, giving the mask to Dom, that whole storyline.
Well, that's supposedly a storyline, but
yeah, that's going to happen eventually. Because Rey Mysterio is what, close to 50 now, probably.
Hey Google, how old is Rey Mysterio from WWE?
50 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, like he is literally 50 years old. So he's got maybe another year or two, 5 at the absolute most, but that's stretching
and
it.
He doesn't even wrestle all that often.
No.
He's more or less a backstage personality.
Yeah, and that's fine. But like I said, I I can't wait to see Dominic take up that mantle. And I think that's part of why they had this match, to show that, hey, Dom might be a piece of shit, but he can wrestle.
Yep.
He is his father's son. So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, you know, Dom tries to use the Mexican Destroyer. Penta kicked out. He gets the 619 frog splash. Penta gets him with the knees.
mm-hmm. And then Penta gets Dom in the sacrifice, and then in the Penta driver, Penta wins. Carlito attacks him after the match, and then we have to show this. Braun Breaker shows up after the match to not really help Penta, but oh my god.
Yeah, if you did not, even if you did see this, this is not sped up.
Hang on. I gotta show this again, because it's so fast that if you blink, you literally will miss it.
And everyone's like, some people online were even saying they had to speed this up. They did not. This is what you saw on live television.
Like, look at that. He literally looks like he's in fast forward. And he does a front flip after it just for style points. Like, everything they say about Braun Breaker is 1,000% true. Wait.
When he's going around the ring, I have said 100 times, there is no way he's doing 30 miles an hour. That was probably 30 miles an hour. Like I said, Carlito.
Oh wait, did I not show that? Was I dumb? I might not have showed that. Hang on. I think I pressed the wrong button. Let's one more time, just so y'all.
Boom!
It looks like he's on fast forward. Look at his arms. He looks like a cartoon character. It's absurd.
Like I said, that is not fast forward.
No, that is
what we saw on live television.
Yep.
I went back just to see. Mm-hmm. And this is literally, like, this is the backward angle. We got the front angle of it. But all you saw was damn near that fast.
Death coming in, I mean, just hitting you in the face. Just everything they say about Braun Breaker is true.
Like I said, with him going around the ring, they're like, oh, he's at 30 miles an hour. I do not believe that.
No.
That?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I just told them when we watched it before we went live. I literally told these guys, I was like, that wasn't even a bus.
That was like a bullet train.
I usually, like, when they get hit, it's like, did somebody get the number to that bus? No. Carlito was like, somebody get the number to the bullet train that just hit me in the head? Man, my head hurts.
Nah. I don't know. I don't think his head hurt. I think his whole body fucking hurt. He's like, ugh.
He was laying on the tracks when the bullet train went by, and the last thing he saw was the bright lights up in the sky.
Yep. And now he's going to see them bright lights up in the sky. Cause, God damn. That man got cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as bad as, what is it?
I'd say this is worse, honestly. Because, I mean, I don't think he was going that fast when he hit ISO speed. I'm beyond, like, God. He literally looked like a cartoon character on fast forward. It was absurd.
Boom! Like, he literally, like, just boom!
Yeah.
And Carlito just, like, crumbled.
But, you know, after that, he gets into the ring. He spears Dominic out of his fucking boots. And then he spears Penta. And you can hear Penta after, like...
But I'm sorry. I think he hit Dom and Penta hard.
Oh, no, Carlito got the horse.
Carlito got the horse.
He got the horse.
Carlito got the short straw.
Oh, yeah.
He drew the short straw on that.
I don't even know if there was a straw left at that point. I think that was just straight...
If they drew
Straight
points
bad
to see
luck,
who was,
boys and girls.
if they drew straws to see who was going to be the first one to spear, Carlito didn't even pick a straw.
Nope, he didn't get a choice in the matter. He just got taken the fuck out. But, you know, this really
Pisses me off.
It doesn't piss me off. It more just annoys me. Can we please go back to our main events actually being the main event? Because this was the main event. We just went over the main event. Dom versus Penta. And it was a great match. It was a great main event.
Well, hold on. Before we get to the whole other thing, Finn shows up.
Oh, that's right.
Takes out Breaker. And then he's like holding the title and showing off. and you see and I even said it, I was like, oh fuck, Breaker's up.
Because
And
Finn stops to look at Dom and is just like...
And then he kind of does this whole, like, back glance real quick and sees that Breaker's standing up, and he was like you think Breaker ran down? You should have seen Finn running out of that ring.
Oh yeah, because he was sizing himself up in the corner, and he went for that spear, and Finn was like, nope, I'm out.
He showed off some moves there. He was like, nope.
He
got Matrix thing up.
Yeah, he got the fuck out of Dodge because he knew what time it was, and he didn't want any of it. Because he hit Breaker from behind, and Breaker just got up, and everything they say about Braun Breaker is true. He is a beast in that ring.
Yep.
But then we saw Paul walking backstage, and then we went to a commercial, and then we came back, Paul was in the ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like, just a couple of things I want to talk about, and then we can move on to Mania. Number one, I will always be loyal to my tribal chief. 2, I will always be loyal to my best friend in the world, CM Punk. Just because I'm loyal to both does not mean I will ever be disloyal to either of them. So let's get one thing clear.
And Seth's music hits. And he comes out to the ring. He's like, Paul, you're out here about talking about loyalty, man. And that's the reason I wanted to come say something. I want to ask a question that's been on all of our minds for the past few days. Paul, are you going to be the very best friend to CM Punk, or the special counsel, the wise man to Roman Reigns? Because you're out here trying to convince all of us, including yourself, that you can do both at the same time. And Paul, it occurred to me over the past week, you're neither. And I know you're going to give me the spiel. Roman, he plucked me from obscurity and he brought me to the island of relevancy. Roman doesn't give a damn about you. He uses you. You know what? He likes you to shine his shoes. He likes you to book his private jet. He likes you to order a steak. He likes you to hand him his ulafala. That's what Roman Reigns needs you for. Roman doesn't respect you. Don't play dumb, Paul. You need a little history lesson from me. Let's go back to Mania. Roman Reigns loses his WWE Championship in the main event thanks to some very well-dressed visionary. Roman did what he does best. Disappears into the ether. And did Roman take you with him? No. He left you in the very caring, loving hands of his family member Solo and the rest of the bloodline. And did they treat you well, Paul? Were they kind to you? Were they loving? No, Paul. Every single day, they treated you like you were the scum of the earth. And every single day, all of us, we waited, wondering, is Roman Reigns going to come save Paul? Is he going to come to the rescue? Ask yourself, Paul, did Roman Reigns come to rescue you? No. He left you to get massacred in your hometown, in front of your children. Jacob and Azalea watched their father go through a table because Roman Reigns doesn't care about you. And you know who else wasn't there to rescue you? Your best friend in the world, CM Punk. Best friends love each other, Paul. They're there for each other. They don't use each other when it's convenient. 10 years ago, Punk walked out on every single person here, you included. He walked out on this company, and did he take you with them? No. He tried to tear down everything that you were building here. Then you want to romanticize about War Games. Let me remind you, Paul, Punk was not the first choice to be on Team Roman in War Games. I was. Stop me when I'm lying, Paul. I was declined. Punk wasn't the first choice. He was the last choice. He was the only choice. And did he join Team Roman out of the goodness of his heart because he loved his best friend Paul Heyman? No. It's because he knew he could use it to get a favor out of you. CM Punk is not your best friend. Punk loves no one but himself. And I gotta be honest with you, Paul. I gotta be honest with all of you, Minneapolis. I feel bad for you, Paul Heyman. You are in a very difficult position. You're between a rock and a hard place. The easiest solution for all of us, for everyone involved, would be if you just removed yourself from the situation entirely and let me and Punk and Roman battle out at Mania for the soul of this industry. But you can't, or you won't do that. I get it. You won't betray your tribal chief. You won't betray your best friend. I understand that if that were the only solution, Paul, if there were only a way we could remove you from the situation.
Yep.
Paul, it's for your own good. I would take it as a privilege to remove you from the situation right here and now. It'll be quick. It'll be easy. A boot to the back of the head, one quick stomp, and it's all over. Nobody's here to save you. Roman's not here, and Punk says he's not here to make friends. He's here to make money. So here's my question, Paul. How much are you worth? And he pushes him. It's like, come on, Paul. How much are you worth? Come on, Paul. Are you worth this much? Maybe you're worth this much? And Paul he grabs Seth's arm and he gets him in his face. He's like, stop putting your damn hands on me.
Yep.
And Seth just looks back at him, smiling, and says, thank you. He pushes him up in the corner and is about to beat his ass, essentially. When Punk's music hits, Punk runs down to the ring. They start fighting a bit. You know, outside of the ring, Punk beating him up. Seth rolls back into the ring, and then Punk goes in to follow. Seth gets a curb stomp off, laying CM Punk out. And Paul gets down on his hands and he's like, I'm sorry. So Seth gets in the corner, he's riling himself up, and he goes in for the stomp, but he stops himself. He stomps this close to Paul Heyman's head, and Heyman falls on the ground looking up at him. Seth grabs the microphone and gets down and he says, now you owe me a favor. And that's how we end the show.
And then we have what everybody is talking about.
Heyman turning on Punk and Roman.
Yep.
And joining Seth.
Which everyone has disagreed with it until this time.
But here's the thing.
Yep.
Does that mean Seth turns heel? Because 9 times out of 10, not just for Paul Heyman, but if you have a manager, 99% of the time, you're heel.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, that would mean we have Roman probably going back to being a face, which I fucking hate.
The sad thing is, I think they're kind of considering Roman a face now. And I don't know why, because everybody cheers for him. And like I said, I was, but you made it crystal clear.
He's the exact same douchebag that he's been for the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's different is he doesn't have
Nothing's
gold
changed.
around his waist and he doesn't have a bloodline to back him up.
And again, our little bits and potential matches and all that stuff isn't really that long. So we're only going to be a little bit over an hour, but I'm kind of hoping that we'll kind of be able to pull this back together after. But Creative is working on Wyatt's and Alexa Bliss stuff, but it will not be until at Mania or after Mania. Supposedly Alexa has not been on TV because creative issues, not anything else.
Yeah, so she's not hurt, at least as far as we know. It's just
and that's what a lot of people are saying. Oh, she's hurt. She's trying to spend time with her kid. Blah blah blah. And there's even some people saying that at Mania, when this whole match thing goes down for the tag titles, the women's tag titles, which I didn't put in WrestleMania yet because we don't know technically who it is.
Yeah. So that's what, 13 matches, or is that already included?
I'll have to count them, but the even talk of her and Nikki somehow getting back together, but with only like 2 weeks left, how are we gonna?
Yeah, that'd be very rushed. I feel like if anything, that's the week after Mania.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
But again, I just want to let all you know.
Jesus is back, baby.
And everybody's
Where
having
is
a
it?
little fun with this.
Jesus is back, baby, and he's at Raw.
Jesus is at Raw. He has returned before WrestleMania, guys. Jesus is right here.
Yep.
If you wondered where Jesus was,
He's out there watching mommy.
he was in Minnesota watching Raw.
Nope. That's it. There's nothing more to that bit. I just thought it was funny.
And then something that I kind of showed them. I thought was kind of cool. The Thumb Wars.
Yeah.
Walmart has got exclusive merchandise coming out. I found it on the store, like the blah, 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 blah. The app. That's what I'm looking for.
Is that meant to be Cody Rhodes?
Yes, that is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre,
Jimmy Uso
and Damian Priest.
Jey Uso.
And Priest.
I
I believe there's a couple more, but
they look so strange. Shout out to Fowler, Cable. Okay. Yeah. Blind bags have been hitting Walmart, but keep your eyes peeled for the Raw and SmackDown ring sets featuring exclusive Damian Priest and Jey Uso.
yeah,
They sell the most random toys, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have. I absolutely loved this.
Is this?
Yes, this is so true. And I know.
Ludwig Kaiser, the first man of all time to be accused of cheating, and not a single soul believed he did. I gotta agree with that. I mean, he's dating Tiffany Stratton. I don't know. Who are you cheating on her with? Nobody.
Charlotte.
Exactly.
No. Unless he is.
And again. How old is Ludwig Kaiser? Because I know Tiffany is 25. How old is Ludwig Kaiser?
Ludwig Kaiser is 34 years old.
Okay, so he's 34.
9 years. That's not.
How old is Charlotte Flair?
Ashley Flair is 39 years old.
Well, 39.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, Charlotte is. She's not ugly. Okay? But she's fake.
No.
I mean, she's literally had. And I'm not saying anything bad. Maybe Tiffany's fake too. But I know Charlotte had boob jobs, chin jobs, face jobs, everything else. And that's fine. But you have somebody, and like I said, Tiffany is beautiful. You have a 25-year-old.
Yeah, and he's not cheating. He's not cheating on Tiffany Stratton with anybody. That's
And
stupid.
I've seen posts of them and stuff. I've even shown you, like, them in Germany and stuff like that when they were there. You can tell that they're a great couple.
Mm.
I seriously doubt Ludwig is...
Cheating on her with anybody.
I know I wouldn't be.
No, not a chance. Anyway, then we have Bianca's story time. We're not gonna show this whole thing, but this is basically just her going over her opinions about all the shit that's happened over the last few weeks. Which, once again, I can't agree with her more.
This is last week's story, but I do love that we kind of always get these little just kind of her take on what is going on.
Yeah,
So I kind of keep posting these. So if you watch these, go look on our DM.
Although the one thing, I will agree with her that Rhea Ripley shouldn't be in this match. It's complete bullshit. But the one thing I will 1,000% not agree with her on is that she was up all night the night before sewing her outfit in her hotel room. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bianca is a grade 8 sewer. Maybe she makes all of her own outfits. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they had somebody else in WWE headquarters make that for her, and that's fine. That's how all of them do it. I would love to make my own outfits, but I know I'm not that cool. I don't know how to do that.
But so next week we got Roman Reigns return to Raw.
Can he just leave again? I'm so tired. I'm so tired of Roman Reigns.
So I don't know. Again, this is the thing of sometimes he's on SmackDown, sometimes he's on Raw.
They show up wherever the fuck they want. It's really that simple. Why are we making a big deal of he's returning to? No, he goes wherever the fuck he wants because he's Roman Reigns and he's an entitled prick.
And
just like somebody else.
AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross.
Oh.
I actually want to see this match.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see what Cross can draw out of AJ. Because he Cross made a good point. AJ says, oh, you can't beat experience. That is just completely fucking false.
Mm-hmm.
That is a false statement. Like I said, I hate Logan Paul, despicable human being. But if we're going story-wise, if it is AJ and Logan, there's at least a good 40% chance that Logan Paul just wins that. Straight up, no BS. So if AJ wants to go into
you think Logan Paul is going to not throw BS in there?
I'm saying, just from what we've seen, 40% chance that he could just beat AJ Styles.
Beating fairly is where I have a problem.
That he's not gonna do it fairly. I'm saying he could theoretically. That's why we
have
need
to use brass knuckles and
That's why
cheat.
That's why Karrion is trying to draw this out of AJ, because he said, if you lose, we all lose. So that's why he's trying to draw this evil AJ out of AJ Styles. Because we don't need this, happy-go-lucky, oh, I'm so cool because I've been doing this for so-and-so years. No.
Exactly.
We need the AJ Styles that's going to go out there and beat the ever-living shit out of this entitled douchebag with a stupid-ass haircut.
Yep.
Anyway, on SmackDown this week, we have a gauntlet match for the number one contender for the Raw Women's Tag Team titles. Which, so far, we have Lyra and
I got the list.
Oh, okay.
Caden Carter and Katana Chance, Lyra and Bailey, Zoe and Shayna Baszler,
Michin and B-Fab, The Secret Hervis, and Maxine and Natalia. So is that gonna be like 3 out of the 4 or 5 matches on SmackDown this week? Or is that spread over?
That's one match.
Oh, Gauntlet! Right. When I think Gauntlet, I'm thinking like the
Like,
bracket style. Yeah, like you beat.
Caden Carter and Katana Chance. I'm not.
Yeah,
saying they're gonna
you
be first.
beat a tag team, then the next. Yeah. That's I know what a gauntlet is, but for some reason I was thinking like the bracket style.
No.
What do they call those? Tournaments,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. So that makes more sense.
And then we got Ray Phoenix.
Versus Berto, which.
That should be pretty good.
Yeah, Ray Phoenix is gonna win, but we already know that.
And then we have Priest and Drew face to face. And then Cody Rhodes returns to SmackDown.
Like he wasn't literally there a week ago or 2 when he hit the Miz.
Exactly.
And you know what the sad thing is? Roman Reigns, he's gonna show up, he's gonna bitch about John Cena, and then someone's probably gonna come down and be like, "No, you're stupid," and then he's gonna beat him up, and then whatever. And then on Raw, Roman is gonna come down there and be like, "I don't need the wise man because I'm the OTC." Blah 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 blah.
Well, there's a lot of talk too, and I did put it in here. There's a lot of people talking that he's not going to have Paul in his corner.
Yeah.
He's going to have somebody else in his corner. And I disagree with who they're saying, but I think it is going to be somebody. There's some people saying that he is going to have a new wise man.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some talk that it's going to be Rikishi, which I do not see it being Rikishi.
No.
Because that is Jay and Jimmy's real life father.
Yeah, that's just strange and.
I don't see it being Rikishi. I would love for it to be Rikishi. But
I don't see that.
If it happened, I would want to turn on.
Yeah, like here's the thing: if they are wanting to make Roman Reigns a face, which, whatever, I don't like him either way right now. He doesn't need a wise man. When was the last time you saw a face have a manager?
Very, very few.
Exactly.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, Macho Man did it when he had Miss Elizabeth. He was a face. But again, that's like 80s.
Yeah.
You had Hulk Hogan with Jimmy Hart. But again, that was the 80s. So...
It's been, what, 30, 40 years?
Very, very rarely.
Exactly. We don't... If you want to make Roman Reigns a face, Which, like I said, I could care either way about. He doesn't need to
He's
be.
gonna have to change the character. This whole tribal
Yep.
chief OTC thing is not a heel. It's not a face character. It's a heel character.
Yeah, I mean, he literally made it a heel character for close to 4 years. So, piss off. Anyway, so at Mania so far, we have Punk versus Roman versus Seth Rollins, Gunther versus Jey Uso, Randy Orton versus somebody, because
Yeah.
there's talk that he's still gonna have a match. We have Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton, Cena versus Cody Rhodes, Belair versus Rhea versus Io Sky, AJ versus Logan, Jacob versus Knight for the U.S. title, Drew versus Priest, Jade versus Naomi, Breaker versus Penta versus Dom versus Finn for the Intercontinental title, and Ray versus El Grande Americano. So, what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 so far. And that's not including Liv and Raquel. So that's 13 matches.
But like I said, you got to remember, like what, a week or two ago?
We had like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm willing to bet we're going to get at least 1 or 2 more between these next 2 weeks, probably.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a lot.
I don't think we're gonna get a lot more. I think we pretty well got a good.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I think honestly, the Punk Roman match, Seth, and okay, I think it's gonna be good, but I don't think it's gonna be a show stealer.
No. It's the main event, but aside from that.
I need the Gunther Jay to be a show stealer.
It needs to be the best match of the night without question.
Whatever night it's on, it needs to be the best.
Yes.
Yep.
Orton, I'm not even going to try to go down that road.
Because we don't know who's facing
yet. We don't know.
And unfortunately, I feel like whoever it's against, the match isn't... The match might be great, but nobody's going to be caring about it because it's so rushed. My opinion.
The only way, and I know we kind of talked about this last week a little bit, the only way I see this maybe not even becoming a good match, but becoming something somebody's going to care about, is if we put somebody coming back
Yeah.
in it. And I'm not even saying Rusev. Okay? Anybody.
I'm thinking it's gonna be.
Are you talking about Black?
Nope.
I have no idea then, because that's for the
From-
SmackDown after.
From what I've been seeing, they're talking that the manager that wanted to come back.
Nick?
Yeah, I think
they're
we were even talking about that,
they're
weren't
talking
we?
about Nick coming back and
But here's the thing.
going against him because of him giving him the RKO in the middle of the ring.
Here comes the thing with that. If he returns to the ring, what does that mean for him being the GM? I'm not saying it can't happen, but this is something that has been talked about. How do you get a general manager, to be able to step in the ring and still kind of be able to do their job?
Well, I think if he steps back in the ring, then they're going to just simply have to replace him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think he's a great GM, but if he wants to step back in the ring...
There's talks that there's supposed to be a new GM coming in anyway.
Oh, I've already said who that's going to be if they do it, because they're really going to try to protect Paige. Saraya Paige. I don't know what her real name is, but in AEW she was Saraya. She's been Paige for WWE.
Yeah.
So there's been talk that they want to make her a GM.
Yep.
So they would have to replace
There's
the
major
GM.
talks of that.
Yeah.
Because we do already have a new GM for Evolve, which I can't remember her name. Stephanie something?
I don't know. I'm terrible.
I know you're terrible with names. But I can't remember her name exactly. But we are going to start covering Evolve.
Yeah. But...
Most definitely, because that is a very good show.
It is, and we're probably going to cover it with
NXT or
SmackDown because we watch.
Oh yeah.
It's on Wednesday, but we have D&D, so we don't watch till Friday before SmackDown. So I'll cover it with SmackDown.
And then we'll cover NXT.
Well, we got 2 weeks to figure all that.
Right?
We're going to cover NXT with TNA, which will be
Monday nights,
Friday mornings, or not mornings, but
Yeah.
Friday when we normally would cover stuff. We're going to cover NXT and TNA then, because the simple fact it'll just be way easier to cover it there,
Yeah.
because they're usually like crossing
Mhm.
somehow, and I'm not going to try to
Yeah.
mix the two. But anyway,
We have Charlotte versus Tiffy,
which
which
I think is going to be really good.
it's gonna be a great match.
Yep.
And I
And there
want
is supposedly some real heat. What, again, like we said,
from last week. Yeah.
supposedly these two are really starting to not get along.
Mm-hmm.
There's even talk that they've never really gotten along, which
Yep. Which we
I
can
can
see
almost
that.
believe.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing. I like Charlotte. I think she's a great wrestler. I think she's entitled. Yeah. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I hate people like Charlotte, and the reason I hate people like Charlotte is because I don't care if you're famous. I don't care if you come from a famous family. Famous. Don't use them to be famous.
Exactly.
Be who you are because you are who you are.
Yeah, like
Yep.
what's the guy from LFG who has a damn it
Elijah.
Elijah Holyfield.
He literally came on and was like, I don't want to use my name. I'm Elijah, and the coaches are like, no, boy, you have a name.
Use it, but make it your own.
Yeah. And because he was like, I'm Elijah. And they're like, Elijah who? And he's like, I don't want to go on my dad's stuff. I want to be who I am. They're like, no. You are a Holyfield.
Use it and make it your own.
Yeah. And and like I said, it's like, I can go with so many others. I mean, you've got like Hank Williams Jr., but he carried on his own, did kind of his own thing.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think the most shining example. Well, there's two. You have Cody Rhodes and you have Braun Breaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
they use the last name. Actually, Braun Breaker doesn't even use the last name.
Exactly.
Everybody knows it.
But he doesn't need it.
No, because he's cemented his own path.
Yep, exactly. He's a very good wrestler.
But yeah,
too.
and I feel like Charlotte sometimes always falls back on
I'm a Flair.
Well, my daddy done that.
I'm a Flair. Yeah, you're a Flair.
Congratulations.
You want a cookie?
You know, and again, maybe it was off script. Maybe it was on script. I don't think it was on script, but
No.
That whole promo last week, Charlotte was rattled.
Oh yeah, like we said,
whether it was
script or not script, it was.
Like I said, I don't think it was scripted because there's a lot of talk that it wasn't. But here's what I am saying: you did not have Charlotte Flair out there.
No, you had Ashley.
Exactly.
And she was legit, like
rattled,
scared, whatever. I don't know if I would use the word scared, but
no, but
I don't have another word.
Embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah, embarrassed.
Like, I
scared.
think throwing her personal life out there, because Charlotte, a lot of people even still say it, Charlotte has always been, or Ashley, whatever you want to use, has always been very reserved about her personal life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to have it, and a lot of superstars are.
Yeah. They don't want it broadcast. That's perfectly okay.
And, you know, to have your personal life, especially something
Like failing 3 marriages.
yeah
Thrown
it
out there.
is
Yeah, exactly.
not being one that is like, hey, I've had 3 marriages, they've all failed, blah blah blah. To have that just boom out in public when you've always tried to
Yeah.
distance the two. You have Charlotte and you have Ashley, and Tiffany went
Mm-hmm.
boom and threw them all on the table.
Yep.
And
she
I
sure
think
did.
that is where the problem falls.
Yeah, that's just disrespectful.
And and again, and we've said this last week, and I will say this again. If you want to make Charlotte a face,
This is the time to do it.
this is your time.
Yep.
You got your shot. Whether it was unscripted, whether it was scripted, whatever. You got your shot. If this is what you want to do, you get that crowd to turn on Tiffy. Which, again, like I said, I think Tiffy's a great superstar. But do I think she's a good heel? Yes. Do I think she's a good face? Yes. Do I think she can play that middle card? 100%.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I want, again, I said it before, I want a face Charlotte.
100%.
We've already had heel Charlotte. Let's
had
have a face Charlotte for a change.
Yeah, I mean we've had nothing but heel Charlotte for however long she's been doing this, so
We get heel Charlotte 99% of the time.
Well,
100% of the time.
There's been little moments in there.
100% of the time, for all it's worth.
Exactly, but I'm
Very, very few.
Yeah.
So
Then we have Cena versus Cody, which
I'm not looking forward to.
I
at
really
all.
no,
couldn't-
I ain't either.
like even putting
There's
aside
already talk that Travis Scott has something to do with Mania.
like even putting aside all like the thing about John Cena and him entitled, like it's just not going to be an interesting match. I don't think.
I don't either. And
I don't either.
honestly, I don't know who.
Did we actually end the stream, or it says we're still streaming here on OBS? So I think that might just be on our end. Give us a second, guys. Okay, we're still streaming. We're fine. But yeah, I'm just not looking forward to the Cena and Cody stuff. It's just not. It's gonna be the main event of one of the nights probably, and I couldn't care less. I really couldn't.
And again, another one, the Belair versus Rhea versus Io. Io has to come out and dominate.
I 100% agree.
Exactly.
And I hope that she does, and I hope both Rhea and Bianca get fucking thrown
But
back
like what
to
you
the.
said, the way, and you said it last night. I don't know if you said it on the stream last week, but I literally think that Io is going to be tossed aside.
And then she's gonna come back in at the last second after they've beat each other up, and that's gonna be the end of it.
Yep.
Which is sad. She deserves better than that. She deserves to be the World Heavyweight Championship without a shadow of a doubt. And
Io
yet,
Sky deserves to shine.
And they're literally throwing
throwing her to the side.
Yeah, they're throwing her out in the dumpster, and they don't care.
I hope she comes out of WrestleMania, and I hope she fucking curb stomps both their faces. And I know that's not her finishing move, but you get my point. I hope she stomps both their asses into that mat. I want her. Once again, I want her to pin both of them at the same time definitively.
But you know what? And I'm even going to bring this up, and I brought it up, and it was really, really weird. And I'm hoping that maybe it... Because when they did that match, which I thought was weird, Io came down without the title. The title was already in the ring. Which, what did I say? We're going to get a ladder match. Because that's usually when they don't have the title because they do the whole raising of the title type thing, whatever. I still, and even you said, I think you said it or it was you, that would be the best case scenario for this match.
I think
Yeah.
Corey and I both agreed with that one.
Especially if you want EO to earn that title without a shadow of a doubt.
Yep.
Put both them through a ladder, climb another ladder, and take that title.
Exactly.
We're not going to get that.
That's going to be.
I'm hoping
gonna
that
be
it
their
comes
best.
to that.
I don't think it is. I want it to, but
Their best interest.
unfortunately, I think we're going to get...
If they want EO to win it fair.
And again, like we said, the AJ Logan match. Logan is gonna win it, unfortunately, but he's not gonna do it fair.
No.
Nope, because he's a cheating little.
And then we have Jacob.
And this needs to be another good match.
Oh yeah.
Because I do believe in LA Knight, but
Jacob is an absolute monster.
Jacob Fall 2 is the monster.
He's a beast.
Mm-hmm. And like I've said, I'm completely off subject. This is gonna be a great match. But you know what match I want to see down the line? Jacob Fatu versus Braun Breaker. The dogs versus the werewolves.
Yep.
Are you done with the Strowman thing?
I love Strowman, but like we've said,
Strowman's a good guy, but his bones are not good.
His body's given out. He's not the same wrestler he used to be. I still love him. I love the character. I love everything about him. But we've done that 1,000 times over.
Yep.
I want to see Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu. Because both of those men are an absolute fucking monster.
Yep.
I can't say it like Booker T does, but he's a monster.
I love that.
Monster among monsters.
If you're not watching LFG, that's what he's referring to. Because what is it? Jackson Carver or something like that? That's his beast, his monster. But if you're not watching it again, you need to be watching it because they've been talking about it online. I know Knight Rider over here has been kind of keeping an eye on posts. Bailey Humphrey.
Oh my god, that girl.
On LFG. For females, if she does not win this.
On fire.
If she does not win LFG for the female side, there's a problem. And even if she doesn't win, I feel like she is.
She's gonna be
within 6 months to a year.
She's gonna be on NXT.
She's gonna be on NXT. You're going to hear the name, and maybe not the name, because they'll probably change her name because we already have Bailey. But point being,
I think we already have another. No, never mind.
Well, we got 2 Rays and all that stuff. But still, the point I'm saying is Bailey Humphrey does not ring. Like, it doesn't have a ring to it. It sounds okay, but it's not something you're going to
recognize on.
You're not going to put Bailey Humphrey on a shirt. I would wear it. But,
yeah, I'd wear it.
But that's not how WWE is going to market her.
No.
I don't think.
They're probably going to give her a new name.
But anyway, just know that if you're not watching LFG, Bailey Humphrey...
Please do, because...
Bailey Humphrey, if she does not win this season of LFG for the females...
I'm
going to be upset.
Yeah.
Like, we have literally watched this girl dominate. I mean, they're superstar... or I shouldn't say superstars, future legends, as they're calling them, in there that are by far more skilled than her.
Mm-hmm.
But yet she comes in there every week and
dominates.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. She is climbing that ladder as high as she can get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
And
I think.
And like I said, you know, she's definitely going to be a name to watch out for because what have you said? Her legs.
She could crush a watermelon. Anyway,
this girl's legs literally
her
look.
Arms. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I think she's a man, and I know she's not, but she got some man arms. Like, I mean, you just see the definition of muscle in her legs, in her arms, everywhere, and DDP was on there this week and was talking about finishers. And they upgraded her finisher. She was doing the
skull crush and then the
boom. She picks him up by the head, throws him up in the air, grabs him, and just slams him to the ground. And you're like, ugh.
Oh, it's
Oh,
beautiful.
Exactly.
I mean, it was great. But anyway,
Back on track. We have Drew versus Priest, which is gonna be a great match.
oh, it needs to be a beautiful match. It absolutely needs to be beautiful.
It needs to be a great back and forth. They both need to get their shots off.
But away from the match, I want Priest to win, but we're still gonna get Drew crying. Even if Drew wins, he's gonna cry.
That's true. That's so
Yep.
true.
Because he's a little crybaby.
And then Jade and Naomi. Oh my God! This needs to be. Again, I don't know where it's gonna fall, but it needs to be right there with the Gunther J match.
Oh yeah.
It needs to be. I don't want a wrestling match.
No, we want to fight.
I want an all-out fight. I do not need wrestling moves. I do not need backflips and super kicks. I need boom, boom.
Yeah, well, we need them in the
Fist
middle of
to
the ring,
fist.
beating the shit out of each other, and we already know who's gonna win that.
I do not need. I want it fair. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want it fair.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want it to be a good match, but I don't need. What's the word I'm looking for?
You
I
don't need to end clean.
You don't need a bread and butters wrestling match. We need
yeah.
a down in the dirt, scrape it in the mud.
We need
Match.
a backyard wrestling match.
Yeah, we need a backyard
Exactly.
brawl.
That is just going to be completely nasty.
Yep.
We need them to go as extreme as they can without getting disqualified.
Exactly. Which there's talks about.
I think it needs to be a DQ match.
It's not no.
A no DQ.
It's not gonna happen.
But
Oh, I bet
anyway,
it would.
Then we have Breaker versus Penta versus Dom versus Finn for the Intercontinental title. We've already talked about this a bit. I want Breaker to retain, but at the same time, I would love to see Dom win it.
but Dom is not going to win it clean, and I think it needs to be Finn. If we're going to do the Dom gets it, it needs to be because Finn got cost the match.
Yeah.
By, even if it was a trip up by Carlito, by whatever, where she was going in, or Carlito was going in to trip, Breaker or Penta, and Finn steps in the middle of it, and
Or
falls.
you know what? I see even more than that. We don't need the Judgment Day getting involved. I know they're going to, but we don't need them getting involved. What I see, Finn hits the coup de grace on Breaker off the top rope, right? He goes for the pin. Penta comes in, hits Finn with the Penta driver. Then Dom comes in, hits Penta, and he wins the match. And Finn is gonna. Because here's the thing: no matter how Dom wins it, whether he wins it fairly, whether it's because the Judgment Day got involved, whatever, Finn is gonna blow a fucking gasket.
Yep.
If Dom walks out as the champ, Finn's gonna blow his
Yeah.
shit.
So I would honestly prefer if he gets it fairly. I was gonna do quotation marks, but I don't know. I want him to simply win the match. I know it's not gonna happen. It's the fucking Judgment Day. We're gonna have the three little cronies out there helping out. But you get the point.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Dom win this fair and square, and Finn loses ever loving mind about it.
Yep. Exactly.
Last match to cover, and then we're gonna go ahead and sign out of here.
Is Ray versus El Grande Americano?
I want to see it, but yet in the same breath,
I'm not
It's just
excited
a-
for
I'm
it.
not
Yeah,
excited for it.
Yeah.
I think it's another throwaway match. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a good match, or it needs to be a good match, but I don't think it's gonna compare to a Gunther J.
No.
It's not gonna compare to a Jade Naomi. It's not gonna compare to a Drew Priest,
No.
a Jacob Knight.
Exactly.
And I think it's the matches to watch. My opinion are gonna be Gunther J, Jacob and Knight, Drew and Priest, and Jade and Naomi.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
those are the matches, and it's sad that those are not even the main events.
Yeah.
But I am more excited about probably those 4 matches.
Oh yeah, because
Then
you
the
know
whole
Cody
thing.
and Cena's gonna have to be a main event.
Yeah. And
It's
Punk and
yeah.
Roman and Seth are the
And
main
you know what the
event.
sad thing is? I'm willing to bet that the Jane Gunther match is probably gonna be an opener.
Probably. But again, like I said, the Rey El Grande Americano, I can see either one winning.
But I just don't really
Exactly.
care.
Yeah, again, like I said, I feel like it's we need to get one more match on the card, so let's just...
Yeah.
Throw one in and be
And we're
done.
not even talking about the...
Well, we don't know who is
Yeah,
involved
that's what
yet,
I'm
but
saying,
we got the tag title, the women's tag title matches for Raw. So, on, what is it, SmackDown, we got Raw and
For women from Raw and SmackDown competing for the
chance
women's tag team titles on SmackDown.
But, again, I think that's about it,
Yep.
guys. And we're at an hour and 25. We kind of... So...
Yep. So, if you made it this far on the stream, go ahead and give us a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want to chat with us about wrestling or video games or D&D or anything like that, go ahead and join our Discord server. If you want to help support us, press that big red button in the About Me section. But aside from that, we ain't got much
And
else.
press the donate button.
I just said that,
Press the
Dingledor.
big red button.
Anyway, that's about it from us, guys. I'm Tofari.
I'm CK.
I'm Knight Rider. We out. Have a
See
good night.
ya. Bye.